Good Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Shelton coming at you. Today, we are going to work on completing activity number 9. For this activity, you have 1 build understanding question and 3 analysis questions. I want to take a look at the build understanding question to begin with. In this question, it asks you to examine the cause and effects that take place in this activity. And so I want you to think of it in terms of this. Events have causes, right? And if whatever you do for part A causes B to happen, then that's the type of relationship they have. It's called a cause effect relationship. So um, in science, one of our major goals is to explain how or why this happens. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to think back to this activity. Remember, there's 2 parts. There's the part with the test tube and the bubble, and there's also the part with the syringe. As you're thinking about that, consider the fact that thermal energy is simply heat. So, if we add heat or we remove heat in either parts of this activity, what happens to the motion of the particles in the 3 states of matter? So, again, what is the cause and effect relationship? What happens when you add or remove thermal energy in either part A with the test tube or part B with the syringe? When you're finished with that, you're simply going to move on to the 3 analysis questions. Please make certain that you understand that the first question is referring to part A. So part A is again with the test tube and the soap film. And there are 2 parts to that. In part B, you are going to simply choose one of the 2 explanations for why you possibly would have observed what you observed. And I want you to write an explanation about why you agreed with it. And don't forget, you must use evidence. And so when we're talking about evidence from your investigation, what we're referring to is data, right? So you've got all this data. Explain to me using your data or the evidence why you have chosen the explanation that you have. And last but not least is number 3. And number 3, you are to draw a labeled diagram. Now, if I were you, it would be, it's a model. So it's going to be, a model can also be a diagram, right? So there's going to be 3 parts to this. Your diagram is supposed to be about the gas or the water vapor. So show me what happens to the particles in a gas as the temperature changes. So as we add thermal energy at room temperature, and then as we remove thermal energy. Okay, in other words, what happens to the particles of a gas when we add heat, when we remove heat? Okay, starting at the base point of room temperature. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have a fabulous Thursday. Please don't forget that this assignment is due tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You also will then have an assessment that you need to take, and that assessment should be completed tomorrow by 3 p.m. Have a great day, all.